What's going on, everybody? My name is Revo, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing a post-commentary on a match that I had at a local in Auburn, Massachusetts. Now, I've said this before, but I know that there are a lot of other players that, top cut all sorts of things all the time, and they're super great and everything like that. But that's... That's not been the case with me for the longest time, so I like to celebrate it when I get wins, so that's pretty much that. Let's get into it. Okay, so to start off, if I'm being completely honest, I was kind of nervous going into this, right? I'm on the stream match, and that's not really something that I've done too many times before. So you can see me just kind of sit here thinking about what I'm gonna do, just leaving the cursor on the top row for a while. Now, eventually I'm gonna snap into action and start deciding what to pick, and there I go. I'm gonna start off with the NDD as usual. Now, at first I'm thinking Armor Rouge, but I second guess that, and I end up just dropping that and going for the Porygon 2. A lot of people look at my team and they think it's a Psy-Spam team, and it's really not. I would more call it a Trick Room team with a Psy-Spam mode. And so I don't always need to bring it. The thing that I was really more concerned with there was whether or not I was going to bring either Vikavolt or Hisuian Decidueye. And this time I went for the Vikavolt, but this is another thing that I wasn't 100% sure about, but I figured we'll run with it. Alright, so my opponent leads Basculegion and Pelipper, and I am in danger already. I am very much being threatened with Wave Crash. I expect it can probably either Oko or do like 80-90% maybe to the Indeedee. It's definitely not gonna Oko P2, but it's questionable whether either of them would survive the double up. But he just goes for the swap into his Rillaboom. And, that's perfectly fine by me, because I'm just gonna go for the Follow Me Trick Room in 1 second, and we're gonna be playing on my terms. He does go for the Terror on this Basculegion, which is all the more reason why it's so scary. I mean, Basculegion, in the rain, Terra Water, like, this is about to do damage. And sure enough, he goes for the Wave Crash, and it's gonna stay away from the Porygon 2 because of the Follow Me, but yeah, that just completely drops Indeedee right away. It was not even, like, once you Terra, it's not even a question. But it's kind of okay, because I can go in to something else, and in this position I'm gonna go into the Vikavolt. Now, that Basculegion is super in danger. I could easily just go for the Thunderbolt, and my opponent knows that. And yeah, the thing about it too, so I've got Terra Ghost on my Vikavolt, and that is pretty much for a situation like this where, Rillaboom or, sometimes Incin, it's their first turn on the field, and they're gonna swap around and try and fake out and stop me from getting the big KOs. I don't need that. And I'm not really concerned about getting hit by a Grassy Glide or anything like that. But, like I said, he knows, they know that I'm gonna probably go for the for the Thunderbolt, which is why they swap straight into the Ursaluna Blood Moon. But actually, I'm still not in a situation where I'm super concerned, because I have the Energy Ball tech, and so I'm just gonna point that at the Blood Moon, and then one thing that I noticed after the fact, just swapping up to talk about the P2 really quick, is sure, Ice Beam is great for attacking Rillaboom, and even if I were to also go for the Blood Moon, which just drops, that's coming off of a 145 base special attack, there was no chance it survived that. The Rillaboom, on the other hand, got the Ice Beam pointed at it, but I was actually kind of surprised too, because in most of my practice matches, Rilla and Incin both, although there's no Incin here, but Rilla did not really normally have Protect, and so that was something that I definitely had to work around. Now, in all honesty, I'm still in a pretty good position here. The Rillaboom's Protect is on cooldown, so I'm not going to launch an attack into the Pelipper right now, because I'm figuring the Pelipper could Protect, so why not go for the slot that really can't defend itself at the moment? I mean, it's about a 50% chance. The only thing I wanted to do to make sure, just in case they did decide to attack with the Pelipper, that I wasn't going to take super effective damage from the Hurricane. So I go for that Ghost Terra, but Vikavolt is just nasty. That was not even super effective damage, that was just neutral, and it drops the Basculegion just straight away. The Ice Beam, neutral. I get the lucky crit, but the Weather Ball, turns out I didn't need to Terra. I really expected the Hurricane there, but, it's fine. So at this point, I'm looking, my Trick Room turns are basically almost done, and the question is, do I conserve the Vikavolt, or do I just let it drop? Because there's not, especially with the Protects, they can just stall out the final turn, and then switch into them going onto the offense. So I go for the Protect myself. Meanwhile, they also go for Protect. And like I said, Protects all around just to stall out that last turn. Of Trick Room. Now, same question here. Do I swap Vikavolt out? Because in this position, especially now that the grassy terrain has gone away, Vikavolt can basically one-shot everything. And granted, Ursaluna can do some damage as well. But, it's kind of fine. I end up letting the Vikavolt go down, and that's kind of the reason why, is that, once the Ursaluna comes in, it's just gonna hit things. Ursaluna is just insane. So without the rain, the Hurricane does not even connect with the Porygon 2. So I'm just going to get my Ursaluna in, as I said, go for the Protect so I can get my burn and start taking one-shots and aim the Ice Beam at the Pelipper. Now, one thing as well, I didn't realize this until after the fact, but basically all I did was go for Ice Beam with Porygon 2, and I definitely should have gone for Terra Blast in some of these situations, because it would have done more damage with Stab, but it ends up being fine. At this point, I've got the speed advantage, and Ursaluna with Facade is just going to drop this Rillaboom, and my opponent knows it, so they cancel. Okay, so going back into team preview for game 2, I'm more confident than I was before. You can see I pretty much just go with the same 4 that I went with last time. One of those situations, where if it isn't broke, why fix it? I am still taking my time just to look and see if there's anything that I could potentially be missing, but like I said, it worked last time, so I don't really see an issue. Plus, if you look, Vikavolt can pretty much one-shot 1, 2, 3, 4 members of my opponent's team with its various moves, so yeah, I'm pretty much all set to go. As a matter of fact, sometimes, and I don't remember 100% if I was doing this or not, but sometimes even if I'm ready, I'll let it sit on the wait screen for a while, just to let my opponent think that I'm thinking harder than I actually am. But anyway, finally we get into the match, and we'll see how they led for game 2. Alright, so this time my opponent goes for Basculegion and Incin, and this was a really good play on their part, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop my Trick Room, right? Now, obviously, they can't go for the Fake Out in this position, but what I don't know for 100% certain at this point in the game is that they've got Rillaboom in the back, and so they are, there we go, they're about to swap and get rid of my terrain, and replace it with grassy terrains so that they're able to Fake Out. Now, this was still a gamble for them, because both Indeedee and Porygon 2 can Fake Out, but it's still a good bet on their part. Now, here is a situation where I kind of messed up and kind of didn't. So I went for Trick Room with both Porygon 2 and Indeedee, and what I'm thinking here is they have another Fake Out turn, and I don't know which one they want to Fake Out. So I'm just gonna set Trick Room with both, and then they can Fake Out whatever they want, and I'll still get Trick Room up. But they do the one thing that cancels that play, and withdraw, and if you could see my face when they withdrew the Rillaboom, I was like, oh no, because I just look silly now. Double Trick Rooming here, but in my head it was a good play, alright? Yeah, but I'm actually like, okay, I'm kind of okay with this. I have lost Eviolite on Porygon 2, but at this point, I can just go for Follow Me. I can just go for Follow Me and Trick Room, and I will get it up. Even if they were to go for the, the Terra Water Wave Crash in that situation, they wouldn't have, they didn't have the rain, so they wouldn't have been able to take out both Indeedee and Porygon 2, despite having lost the Eviolite. So now, I finally, after however many turns, managed to get the Trick Room up, and now I have to switch to offense. Okay, so I'm just checking what I've got in the back. I also check on my which boost I got, which I did get the special attack boost, so that's always very good when you're running download Porygon 2. And you know, it's a bit dangerous, right, to swap in this position. So I just left them in, and this is one thing that surprised me. I didn't actually even look at the Pelipper's Terra on the team sheet, and so when I saw Stellar, I was like, oh no, they want violence. Now I was able to do some pretty decent damage with the with the Psychic, but ultimately without the Eviolite, Porygon 2 is not able to tank the Weather Ball, and it goes down. But that's kind of okay though, because I'm able to bring Vikavolt in this position, and everything on the field is weak to Vikavolt. And I have redirection right now, so I am kind of in an amazing position. I can basically one-shot everything that's here. Okay, so they retreat the Rillaboom and bring in Incin. Thank goodness, though, the Intimidate doesn't really do much, but that Bug Buzz, look at that, does half damage, does a little more than half damage to the Incin. I can basically just take it out. Now they probably will, in my mind, I'm thinking they probably will try to fake out. But you know, we just kind of deal with it. I do still have access to Terra in this moment, so I am considering going for the Terra Ghost. I saw that the Psychic outside of Psychic Terrain was able to do enough damage to more than half health the Pelipper as well. So assuming they don't protect, I can just take 2 KOs here. Because I don't really think that they want to fake out the NDD. It's not doing nearly as much damage as Vikavolt, and that is exactly why I go for the Ghost Terra right there, because now, you know, they can try to fake me out if they want to, but it's not really going to do anything. And, you know, they don't. They probably went for Knockoff or Flare Blitz or something along those lines, but it didn't really matter all that much. I was able to take the KO, and NDD follows up with a KO of its own. And so at this point, my opponent just has the 2 Mons in on their back line, which are the Rillaboom and the Basculegion. And so we're not out of the woods yet, right? Even though I can't be faked out by this Rillaboom either, the Basculegion could potentially still do lots of damage. And so I'm definitely worried about that. So I am just going to take a moment to consider, but I believe I just went for the follow me in this position just to keep everything off of the Vikavolt, and then just go for some damage. And you can see that was the right call, because they immediately go for priority with Grassy Glide, and then follow that up with priority Aqua Jet. So they probably would have taken out Vikavolt with that double up, but instead they lose the Basculegion, and all that they're left with at this point is the Rillaboom, which will 100% go down to a Grassy Glide. That's not even in question. So at this point, all I've got to do is just follow me, Bug Buzz, which I do. There's the follow me. The Rillaboom goes for the Grassy Glide again, manages to knock out the NDD. That is more than acceptable, as Vikavolt just goes for the Bug Buzz, and Stab coming off that monster attack stat and super effective is more than enough to take the KO and win me the game and the set. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that quick post-com. I will be back on camera and everything like that, doing regular laddering again soon. I just wanted to kind of highlight that video because I really enjoyed it, and I love going to these locals and everything like that. Now that was taken from the live stream from LeafVGC, so I've got Leaf linked in the description and everything below. So definitely go and give a sub to Leaf's channel, as well as he's got the whole tournament over there as well. Not just me, lots of other great matches on there. So if you want to see some pretty high level play, definitely go check that out. All right, have a good one.